Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for whatever the week is, the week of whatever's in the title, the 25th, I think, of August. You have this Winds of Change card. It says your surroundings will undergo a transition. You have this Serendipity card. It says bright new prospects are on the horizon. Yes. I think there are like things forming. It's like things are coming together. Things are starting to form up in your mind is what I feel. Like, is this like week going to be perfect? No, but I do feel that things are kind of coming together is the energy that I get here. It's almost like, I don't know what it's like dough, it's like pizza dough, when you're mixing it together and it finally reaches that point where it's like fully mixed, so I think a lot of you, it's like there's something about your ideas or, something coming together for you here. And I do think this is like work related for whatever reason. So I do like to see that for you, of course, Pisces. I think you've been waiting a long time for this. It's like I think you've been waiting for, things to become cohesive. It's like you've been waiting for things to stick. And, that is the energy I get for you, Pisces, and have been getting for you for a while. So, very interesting. I wouldn't worry too much about that tower because tower with judgment is the most powerful combination in the tarot. Kind of represents like a major wake-up call or a major revelation or like a sudden insight that you could be receiving. So again, with that serendipity card, the tower could be serendipity as well. It's kind of like the tower is light bulb moments. We have this lightning bolt that is hitting the top of the tower there. And so it can just represent light bulb moments or, kind of like, not really serendipity, but, sudden insights, which could be coming in for you. You have the Page of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Tower. Some of you, I do feel, I don't know what's going on here. Something happened with this camera, but it definitely, I can't get it to stay in the right position, so whatever. But, again, I do feel like there could be this could be love, is where I'm going with that. You could be surprised this week by love. Like, maybe you have two people that are interested. You have the Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, and then you have the Two of Cups right next to it. I feel like one person will stand out more than the other. Like, I don't think this is going to be confusing at all. I think one person, like, if you do have two people to choose from, I think one person will clearly be the better choice. And again, especially with Jupiter and Cancer for you, Pisces, it is definitely a good time for love, for sure. Being your fifth house, romance play, self-expression, creativity, it's like romance, right? It is a good time for romance. Plus, depending on when you were born, if Leo is your seventh house or Virgo, or whatever, look at your own chart in your astrology. But definitely Leo or Virgo, again, there are things that are moving through both of those signs, South Node and Virgo. And, other things will be moving through Leo, even up until next year. Next year, Jupiter will enter into Leo. And, again, that could also, depending on when you were born, that could also trigger some love stuff going on for you there. And even after, the year after as well. So, again, definitely could be kind of like surprised by connections that are coming in for you. But like I said, I kind of get this feeling of like two people. But I think one is like just clear. It's clear to me. You have the Page of Pentacles. I think you need to mix these two energies together as well. I'm noticing in your next row, you have this Full Moon in Gemini card, which I'll show you in a minute. But it says the answers you need are coming. But I feel like these two energies need to be mixed together. Page of Wands and Page of Pentacles. Like, just in your, I'm not talking about love here. I'm just talking about in your personal life. It's like you need that optimism, I think, from the Page of Wands. And I think you need the kind of like the, I don't really want to say curiosity. I would just say studiousness. The Page of Pentacles is the card of studiousness and the card of learning. And so it's like you might be feeling very optimistic about like a new thing that you could be working on or creating or doing or, building in your life. And, I think you need to mix these two energies together for the best results. You have the Tower. Again, I literally do feel there could be some surprises with this Tower. Again, number one, it's like you could be all of a sudden like discovering that like multiple people are interested in you if you want love. So, it is a good week for love. It is a good time for love for Pisces. I also think that there could be like a sudden insight that you're receiving with that Judgment card. So, with these two cards together, Judgment and Tower, like I said, it kind of represents a major revelation, a major wake-up call, a sudden understanding. You could be understanding like what you should be doing in your life, all of a sudden. And so it could be kind of like a lot of clarity coming in for you. Although I don't really necessarily think it is clarity. I think it's more, culmination energy. It's like I said, it's like dough that is finally ready. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. It's like something, everything has finally come together. With the Page of Wands, you have the Nine of Wands here. Like I said, I think one, if there are two people, I think one you will clearly put boundaries up against because it maybe scares you or, something. And I think the other person you'll be more open to, so that's probably a good thing. Looks like an amazing week for experimentation. We're in an amazing time for experimentation, but, this week in particular for you here, Pisces, could be like extra good for, experimenting, trying new things. Page of Wands is my card of, the Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So I think it would be a great time for you to experiment. With the Page of Pentacles, here you go, right here. King and Queen of Swords. I normally do not like the King and Queen of Swords. They are two people who do not normally see eye to eye. Now, the good news here is I prefer the Queen of Swords coming up first, before the King of Swords. When she is looking at him, right here, and she has her hand up. If they were the other way around, her back would be to the King of Swords. So I kind of feel like the right person might be a little bit slower, or maybe it's moving a little bit more slowly, and I also think it's a person that you're not really talking to yet. It does feel like a little bit of a cautious energy to me here, Pisces. It could be any sign. You have Earth, you have Fire showing up here. So far, it could be a Scorpio as well. It could be any sign. You have Air. But, it could be any sign, general reading. I just think this is someone who might be a little bit slower and a little bit more cautious. But again, I actually think that's a good thing. It's like sometimes when you're with people who just want to rush right into your pants, usually that doesn't end well, right? For lack of a better term. So, it's like if this is a person who is being a little bit more slow, it's like maybe they're just, maybe it's just a little bit slow. But I don't think it'll stay that way. And I also think there are way less warning signs. I don't know. It's like with the Page of Wands, again, you're going to have to pay attention because I'm not saying it's the fire sign. Like, let's say you're dealing with a fire sign and an earth sign. I'm not saying that the Page of Wands is definitely the fire sign that has warning signs or red flags. Funny that I'm wearing this red shirt, right? It's like I think one of these people could be either has very clear red flags. So, like, pay attention to the clear red flags, right? With the Tower, you have the Two of Wands. It's like, I don't know. I feel interesting about this, the Tower with the Two of Wands, because, Tower is about accepting reality for what it is. It's about coming down to reality. Two of Wands, he's ready to enter into a new reality. He's, standing at the top of his castle. This wand behind him stands on its own, but he's got the whole world in his hands, and he's kind of ready to just enter into a new reality. He's ready to do something else. I don't know. I think you're just ready to enter into a new reality here, Pisces. It's like, that could be happening. It's like some of you, this could be, like, I feel like I've said this to you in readings in the recent past, where it's like, it would not surprise me if over, the next couple years even, and yes, I understand this is a weekly reading, but, changes don't happen overnight usually, or big changes at least. It wouldn't surprise me if some of you are, like, just do make a, like, about face in your life, where it's like, one day you're doing one thing and the next day you're doing something completely different. And I know that's a very general statement, but I also think Pisces is very good at doing that anyway. Pisces is the true chameleon in the zodiac. And so Pisces is good at, reinventing themselves very, very quickly. And, some of you could be going through that. Now, I'm not ready to say that yet because really for this to be reinvention, we would want to see, the Magician, for example, things like that. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says the energy is gaining momentum. Yes, you can probably feel it. You have this full moon in Gemini. It says the answers you need are coming, which I think is the Tower and the Judgment card. Like I said, it's like the Tower and the Judgment card can be a sudden understanding. But again, like I said, this is like a recipe that's finally ready, but it like had to reach a certain stage. I don't know. I've just been talking a lot about food lately, but whatever, Pisces. And what I would say is that I think that it's like something has finally reached the right stage where it's like all come together, This could be ideas that you've been having, something that you've been planning for a long time. It wouldn't surprise me. Like it wouldn't surprise me if for a long time you've been saying to people like, I'm gonna go do this, whatever it is in my life. And it's like I think people in your life have reached the point where maybe I don't know if they're doubting you, but maybe you feel that way. Like maybe you yourself are sick of saying I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But it's like I think you had to do that. It's like maybe you had to say, like, oh, I'm going to work on this project. I'm going to do this thing with my life. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. It's like I think you had to do that to get the ingredients to mix in your life, I don't know if that's making sense. Kind of a weird message, but, whatever. It's like something had to happen like that. But it's like now you're getting your own understanding. It's like sometimes I wonder if us Pisces just have to talk things out and say things to hear it so we can be, it's like, I don't know, sometimes like a lot of the times I will say things where I'm like as I'm saying it, I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever said in my entire life. It's like I just have to hear myself say it, right? So, maybe that's what's had to happen here. You have the King of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Four of Wands here. Yeah, I mean, definitely could be a solid love connection. There could be an age difference here, either you or them, could be older or younger. You have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is always someone who's different than your usual type. There is definitely a difference here. And everybody gets this. This is back in like 2023 or 2022. I don't remember. I did the only love readings I've ever done on this channel. And, everybody had the Two of Cups. So clearly love has changed. Like, I believe the energy of love has changed, right? And, like I said, I think it's probably a good thing. It's probably not a bad thing. And, I think we could be just attracting a different type of person. And here, by the way, we were talking about Reinvention. He has these butterflies behind him, and butterflies can absolutely represent like transformation. So, again, there's your one sign right there for going through a reinvention. But again, I think that for a person, I think someone's becoming ready as well. Like I kind of wonder that if someone is finally like at a stage when that they are ready. The other thing I'm getting here is about something about experience. It's like, it's like this is, but again, don't take this as a bad thing, Pisces. I think this is a good thing. I think you're attracting someone who maybe has not had a billion freaking relationships in their life. It's like, maybe this person has had a few, right? And again, but honestly, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think this is probably a good thing. You have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups would be a perfect match. There's something about a story here as well. It's like I'm hearing golden thread popping into my head. I don't even know what that means, but whatever. It's like there could be some sort of story. But this is like a story that's going to be happening. Like, as in, if you are meeting a person at this time, there is definitely going to be a story to tell, right? About it, like in the future, is what I'm getting at here. So that could say that maybe you meet this person in like a little bit more of an exciting way, or maybe it's just a very adventurous, like fun connection. So I definitely feel that. I also feel, Pisces, of course, that it is an excellent time to be more spiritual. Like, it's a great time to tap into your higher self energy. Two of Cups is you and your higher self. We really, really have to, tap into listening to our higher self with this card. And, we have to do whatever we can. For me, that's walking. I'm not like a sit and meditate type of person. I go for a walk and zone out. Like I've been saying for years, how I haven't been hit by a car is beyond me, because it's like, you probably don't want to hear this, but sometimes I cross the road and it's like I'm just kind of like in my own little world, right? And I'm not really thinking, but luckily I haven't been hit yet. So I don't know, but what I would say here is like, whatever it is for you is, that's all that matters, right? Don't get hit by a car, obviously, but, do something to tap into, to listen to your higher self. Could be like sitting on a rock in nature, could be whatever, whatever it is for you, I would go and do it. You have the Four of Wands, definitely marriage potential with a person if you are looking for love. So I definitely like to see that. This seems to me like one of those things where it's like, I'm not saying you should rush, right, with what I'm about to say, but it's like, this seems to me like it could be a connection where you're just saying to yourself like, I'll see how this goes. And then it's like 20 years from now, you wake up and you're still with this person, right? Like, I mean that in a good way. It's like, maybe it just keeps working, and that's why you stay with this person. It's like you're not, and, I think that's how some of the best relationships are formed, is it's like, two people where it's like, they're just like, I'll just see how this goes. And then it's like, before you know it, it's been 20 years and you're still having fun, right? And that's freaking how it should be, right? Fun, not like serious. Not like, oh, this person needs to solve all my issues, I need to solve all their issues, stuff like that, right? So I think it could be one of those connections, which would be great. Pisces, I am also getting a message here that you should be like looking for places to set yourself free. If there are things that you are stuck and bound to, Could be anything. I don't know. It just popped into my head. It could be responsibilities. It could be issues, whatever. I feel now would be an excellent time for you to like really find solutions or look for ways to do that. I also feel like you need to do things to make your life simpler. I'm going to keep saying this to you because it's like I think that Pisces has dealt with too much overcomplication energy, which is whenever that happens, whenever life is complicated, I think we look for complicated answers and complicated solutions. Then our life becomes more complicated, doesn't become easier. It creates this like negative snowball. So I think it's time for you to kind of go the other direction. Like think to yourself, like, how can I make this happen in an easier way? Or how can I make this more simple on myself? Whatever it is, like anything. With the King of Swords, you have the Justice card. Now, King of Swords and Justice is law and order. So, this could be justice, literally, that's coming in for you at this time. I'm not really feeling much there. With the Two of Cups, you have the Two of Cups. There you go. It's like you are definitely becoming aware of a person here. I don't know, Pisces. It's like, are you clueless? Maybe a little bit. Sometimes I think Pisces is clueless. I mean, I'm a Pisces. I can say that. So, I am definitely clueless sometimes. I think sometimes a person can like a Pisces and Pisces has no freaking clue. It's like a person could be like right in your face and you're just like, nah, this person doesn't like me. I don't know. That story is popping into my head. So it's like, have you been talking to a new person recently, Pisces, is what I want to say. Or have you met someone recently? That could be the case here. Here you go. With the Four Wands, I literally said it. Magician, you cannot make that shit up, Pisces. I was definitely getting reinvention energy. It's like, I've been talking about this a lot because I think it's very important right now, at this time. This is like the best time to reinvent yourself right now. And so, for the next, and you have a few years of this energy. So, I think it is time for Pisces. Like, instead of like saying like I am this thing, just be it, right? And the Magician has a snake wrapped around his waist, and the snake represents the Ouroboros, which is reinvention energy, and it's all about just like being the thing that you want to be. It's also about creating whatever you want. It's like maybe you have an idea. Like maybe you have an idea to do something, create a business where you only have to work 1 hour a week and then make $1 million a year, right? Might sound crazy, but there are probably people who have done that, right? And, very easily. And, again, it's like, it might sound crazy, but it could totally be possible. And the Magician is about, trying to create that as much as possible. Can you work an hour a week right now and make that happen? Maybe not. It's like maybe you have to work 40 hours or 80 hours a week for the next couple of years to get to that point, and then you hire employees, and then before you know it, you are working an hour a week for $1 million a year, right? It's like maybe you have to build to that point, but, I don't know. It's like I would start working on that. You could be getting a lot. He's literally pointing to the Judgment card. It's like you could be getting a lot of answers on like what to do to make your crazy ass dream happen. Next, we are going to look at messages from your future self. Yes, you have this Reframe card. It is an amazing time to reframe things. Uranus and Gemini. We are going to talk about this for sure. You have this Purpose card as well, Judgment. You could be reframing your purpose at this time, Pisces, really taking it to the next level. I don't think Pisces is quitting anything. I think if anything, it's like Pisces is going to be doing something where they take what they're doing right now and bring it to the next level. Again, you could be reframing something. Uranus and Gemini energy. Again, this is one of my favorite things to think about right now is reframing energy. It's like, how can you take what you do right now and how can you enhance that image? How can you, the image of yourself, Magician, how can you make it better? How can you make it smoother, less friction, more efficient, all that? How can you, again, reach a wider audience? How can you affect more people? I don't know. You're going to have to figure it out. You're all different. But, those are the questions that I would be asking. And the other thing is it's definitely time for Pisces to, let go of their past karma in the sense that, like, I think, I've been saying to you for years, Pisces, it's time for Pisces to make money. I think that part of this reframing thing is, is looking at what you do for work and saying, like, I think you need to say to yourself, what I do is something that could earn me a lot more money. Or, maybe you need to start saying to yourself, like, this is something that could make me a millionaire, right? Or successful or whatever it is. And, again, I think reframing energy is going to be important. You have the Seven of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Judgment card. Seven of Cups is like being spoiled for choice. Like, I would be looking for options. Sometimes I think the Seven of Cups, when it shows up in a reading, sometimes I think it's just a message for us that we need to look for variety. Meaning, like, we need to look for other ways that things can be possible. You know what I mean? And so, like, I don't have a good example other than this channel. When I started this channel, there were, like, no readers that had more than 10,000 subs, right? I started over 10 years ago. I'm one of the OG readers, right? And, I can't think of anyone. Most of the people are gone that used to have tarot channels back in the day. But, like, no one had more than 10,000. I never thought in a billion freaking years that I would have almost a million. Like, it still blows my mind. And, I don't even know how. It's crazy. But what I would say here is I never thought it was possible. But if I was smart back in the day, I would have, maybe looked for some examples, looked for reasons to believe that it was possible. Because maybe I would have gotten here faster, right? And so I think that's what this is saying. It's like saying you need to believe in, like, bigger possibilities is kind of what this is saying. And you need to look for excuses to do that. It's like, a simple thing, back in the day, I think it was like PewDiePie, was the person who was like the biggest person on YouTube. And he had millions of subs. And so it's like I could have easily said to myself, I don't do what he does, but it's possible, right? I could have just told my brain, hey, this is a possibility that exists right now, And so I think you just need to look for possibilities. You have the 5 of Wands. Yeah, I think you have one more year of this, Pisces. Not even a year, like March of next year. I think by March of next year, this will clear up for you. I think Pisces need to be, don't create conflict. I think there are plenty of people who are going to try to create conflict between now and March. I would just ignore it. But definitely could be dealing with competition. You have the Judgment card again. This is like a understanding or something. I think I said like a sudden understanding is more the energy I get. Again, to me, the Tower and the Judgment card can be several things. It can be a sudden revelation, sudden insights, light bulb moment, aha moment, sudden understanding. That's what I feel for you. It's more pushing me in the direction of an understanding, which is different than those first 4 things that I listed, by the way. Maybe you think all those things are the same, but no. So I think that this is an understanding. The thing about understanding is that, understanding is like understanding the inner workings of something. It's like you understand something. It means at a deeper level, right? It's how this is popping into my head. Definitely could be work or business related. With the 7 of Cups, you have the 9 of Swords, sorry. Yeah, I think you need to get out of your head about anything. The other thing is like, if you are feeling confused at this time in life, it could say that you are giving yourself too many options, and maybe you need to focus. With the 5 of Wands, you have the 3 of Pentacles. I would be focusing on co-creation. It's like, yeah, there might be a lot of people that are causing conflict or causing competition, but, 3 of Pentacles can say, don't worry about focusing on that. Focus on letting your results speak for themselves. That's the whole point of the 3 of Pentacles. He's created these 3 pentacles, and he's just putting in the work, and he's just letting the results speak for themselves, right? And that's all you have to do here with the 3 of Pentacles. With the Judgment card, you have the 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, so very good. Also, very good for love. So if you're looking for love, this could be like a person that, clearly you'll have a family with in the future. So, that looks good, Pisces. You have this, next we're going to look at the good stuff. You have this ancient and future energies, this Red Canyon card. You have this Oak Creek Canyon. It says moving to another level. Literally said it, I think, in this reading. I said something similar, that you're like, literally, it's not like you're quitting something. I think you're taking something to the next level, or you're just enhancing it. Like the word, I think that would be a good word for you to focus on is enhancements. Like, how can I enhance what I'm doing? How can I get more out of it? How can I make it better? How can I stand out more? Things like that, right? And so enhancement would be a good word for you to focus on. You have the 3 of Swords, the 4 of Cups, and the 3 of Wands. I feel like some of you are healing, like literally health. Again, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. People always ask why I don't talk about health. It's actually illegal for tarot readers to talk about health, basically, so that's why. So there you go. But, plain and simple. And it, again, I think that, what I can say is that I feel if you are discovering some answers this week, which you could be, this would be, I think this could be a solution, which is great. Now, this is pretty much the last time, I think maybe once more, if I'm not mistaken, that Chiron will retrograde in Aries. Chiron in Aries, I think, is a major thorn in Pisces' side, for sure. I think, Pisces has kind of gotten boned, for lack of a better term, for many years. Pisces, we had Uranus in our second in Aries, which I think is pretty much the worst place for Uranus to be. Luckily, as I always say, we will be dead the next time Uranus comes back to our second. Thank God. I don't think I would want to live through that again. Chiron and Aries, Chiron's been in Aries forever, and Chiron and Aries, I think, in the second is a pain in the ass, for lack of a better term. So it's kind of like a weird energy. It's like, I think I said this to you a while ago, but it wouldn't surprise me if like around 2018, 2019, 2020, if like things got better in your finances, and then like somewhere around there, right? Maybe experienced a little bit of a peak in like 2021, 2022, and then in like 2023 went backwards, right? This is that like Chiron and Aries energy, and it's just a pain in the ass. I think it's more of a pain in the ass that we have Neptune and Saturn have moved into Aries, but they are now retrograding in there, and they will be retrograding out into Pisces soon enough. So I think it's been a pain. But again, I think the good news is that you're kind of like getting past that, right? And healing stuff. You have the Four of Cups. Yeah, I think a big part of Pisces' story is like love that it's like love that you, like never having love that you actually want or wants you or whatever. I don't even know how to say what I want to say. It's like finding a person that actually likes you I'm just going to keep saying this in this reading for lack of a better term. It's like, I feel that you have been worried. Maybe you just feel like you're just never finding people that you're on the same wavelength with. And, I don't know. I feel like you're finally getting something that you're like where you are. This is coming up in the good stuff. So I would definitely accept any new offers coming in for you. You have the Three of Wands. Yeah, it's definitely time for Pisces to play big. Like, Three of Wands, card of expansion, growth. I do feel some of you, your ships could be, you could be getting a reward this week, or like your ships coming in. But, I feel more, again, I read intuitively, the message I'm getting off of this card is that you need to play bigger, like take bigger risks. And we're not talking about stupid risk here. We're talking about, kind of just, if you, I'll just use YouTube as an example. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, the risk you could be taking is like, don't start with one video, start with like 5, right? It's like, I would like start things with a bang at this time, where you don't play small. And again, we're talking about the risk of losing time, right? Which, big freaking deal. If you did 5 videos, would it be that big of a deal? I have multiple channels. I just looked at my stats. I published 410 videos last month, right? So there you go. If I can do it, you can do it. Granted, I have a team of people that help, right? And by the way, that's 410 on this channel. So that includes shorts, 96 full-length videos, 30 minutes long, pretty much for the most part, right? So again, if I can do it, you can do it. And again, I have a mental issue here where I fell on my head when I was 10 years old. Something happened up here where it's like all I do is work all day, right? Plus, I have a crap ton of Capricorn in my chart. So again, I don't recommend that you live your life like me. But again, I still have tons of time, right? Like, I'll be done with these videos. It's 8 o'clock in the morning right now. I'll be done in like, I have one more, so I'll be done in 30 minutes, right? Basically, by 8:30. Usually what I do is I edit these, get them uploading, right? My videos for the day, and then I go for a walk. That's going to be the next thing I do. I'll be home by like, 10:30, 11 o'clock when I'm done with my walk, and then I'll start working on some other stuff, right? It's Monday. I have my class tonight, right? I'll be going to my class. So I have plenty of time, and I get a crap ton done. So again, play big is what I'm saying. 5 videos would be nothing, as an example. With the Three of Swords, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a change in your fortunes. I feel like you are discovering something that is like literally changing your health. I don't know, it's popping into my head as health, Pisces. I'm not a doctor, so take it as it resonates, but there you go. With the Four of Cups, you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. So I think for a lot of you that this could be a passionate new beginning that is coming in for you at this time, right? It is also out with the old, in with the new. So yeah, there's definitely something very exciting coming in for you this week. With the Three of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. Yes, Two of Swords says to get different results, you have to do things differently. I know that sounds simple, but people don't do it. So I literally made a very significant living I had a marketing agency, if you don't know. And literally all I would do is I would go to businesses and I would look at what was working. I would say, this is working. This is not working. People paid me to do this, if you can believe it, right? But again, people don't pay attention. Plain and simple. You know how I'm a big fan of telling people to double down on things? Literally, I made a fortune when I was younger, just telling people, hey, this right here is what you should be doubling down on because it actually works. And people would be like, I can do that? And I'd be like, yes, you can, right? So there you go. You have this tulip card. It says great passion. I think you're entering into a very passionate time where you're going to feel passionate. You're going to feel excited. You're going to feel vitality and, all those things. Definitely could be a person as well. You have this, here you go, you have this pay attention to your health card. Yes, there's something about your health, Pisces. I literally said it on that Three of Swords. I think that some of you could, but this actually looks good to me. You could be getting an answer or healing a health issue or something like that. So I feel pretty good about that. You have this bird perch that says waiting for news, package, or letter. I feel like this is communication and love. I definitely feel there could be a person who's going to be communicating with you, for sure. This right here makes a lot of sense. You have this July card, and you have this Tiger card. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. Now, between now and next July, maybe even a little bit longer, it is a good time for you to take risks. Now, we kind of talked about risks. We're not talking about crazy risk, like I said. We're talking about the type of risk where you push yourself just a little bit, right? So like instead of one video, do 5. Instead of going on one date with a person, go on 2, right? Instead of whatever. I don't have any good examples, right? We're not talking about risks that are going to ruin your life. We're just, just tiny little things where you push yourself just a little bit more. Are all the things you take a risk on going to work? No. Hell no. But the things that do work will be very worth it, Pisces. So, again, those are the types of risks I'd be taking. You have this broken wishbone. It says, wish will not be granted. I think there are things from the past that you have to let go of. I'm hearing resentment as well. Like, it might be a good time. I'm not calling you out or anything, Pisces. I think, all of us have issues at different times, right? But I think it might be a good time for you to, release resentment or... I'm sure if you look on YouTube, there are probably 6 billion exercises you could do that you could watch for free on YouTube to release resentment. I don't know. It popped into my head right away. And so, again, I'm going to do it today as well. I would look for something to, is there an exercise? Is there a meditation? Is there a, hypnosis or something to do where you could release resentment? That would be good. I don't know. There you go, Pisces. This looks amazing. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.